party in the green room. All of them should all be flocking to the green room. That's where the real show takes place.
That's right.
The green room.
You heard it here from Rob Scott.
Yeah, you did. You heard it from Rob Scott.
I think if I had to choose between the two of them, which I'm thankful I don't, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I have to go with Rob Scott, because let's face facts, Bob Doyle is an extra.
C'est le Lounge Show avec Rob Scott et Bob Doyle, deux diffuseurs vétérans qui aiment s'entendre parler et qui réussissent, d'une manière ou d'une autre, à se supporter. Voyons si vous pouvez les supporter aussi bien. Voici Rob et Bob.
We got a
good.
huge rocking crowd tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, well, okay.
That is a good intro. That is a good intro. It's quick, it's short, it's Gaffigan, he's out. We paid him just for a few sentences. That is a really good intro. I like that one.
Yeah.
I never know what you're going to spring on me. You know, you and the production team. I'm not privy to those meetings. I don't go to any of those meetings. I don't get emails, nothing on that.
But you always promise next meeting we'll be there. So we get you a Danish, we get you coffee, because we believe that you are true to your word. And every time it's been a very valid excuse. So, you know.
Right. My grandma's nose caved in. I remember that I used that one a couple of times. What are you doing there, Bob?
I was trying to read the screen.
Oh, okay.
Because it's very tiny. It says Bob, hey, and it's from my friend Darcy. Hi, Darcy. We should catch up.
I see what you're. Hey, are we back in? We're not in entertainment exile anymore.
No. Remember, we're still. Yeah, we are. We're on YouTube and my timeline, just like we always were. But we can still get the comments. The comments that come in on my webpage.
Yeah. Please go on. I'll give you a break here
on my Facebook.
9 o'clock on a Saturday.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. 6 where Bob is, and he's still giggling.
Yeah, and Weekend Special Me.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I didn't know I have to get there that quickly.
I know. It is 110 degrees here in Henderson, and that's at 6:02 p.m., although it's not the hottest that it's been. We've been on the other side of a hot peak, but I think we're escalating. I don't know. All I know is the pool water is warm.
I saw the other day where Lake Geneva's temperature, you had the screen up a little bit ago, but Lake Geneva's temperature is, there it is, and it's about 79 degrees. I saw on the website. They also posted E. coli levels for different areas of the lake, and none of them are severely bad at all. In fact, on the contrary, it's almost like you've been in that body of water. It's clean.
79, that's warm for that, isn't it?
It's pretty warm. You know, it's July now, and it'll get warm. By September is like your time of the year, Bob. And no one's there, right? Because everyone, like, the season is over. As you can see, there's quite a few boats out there, considering it's 8 o'clock Central Time there, and there's quite
75
a few
in Durango, Colorado. We got the check-in from Darcy.
Awesome, Darcy. Hi, how are you?
All right, so let's hear from all the other states. All right, all of you, speak up. We know you're out there. We know we got at least one representative from every state in the union.
So the thing is, if you weren't with us last week on the lounge, I found out from Bob as we were doing the show, the beginning of the show, that we're in entertainment exile as far as Facebook is concerned. They said it's not relevant.
The page, the lounge show page on Facebook, on my timeline, not my web page.
Not your webpage.
But my timeline, that's where we are. We're here. That's where Darcy's seeing us. But yeah, I mean, YouTube is the other place, but nobody watches us there. But if they did, they could comment, and I think we'd see it.
Okay. So we're going to do, last week we threatened to do some sort of public service announcement for this issue. So I think we should do that today. Whether we do it during the show or when we close the doors to the lounge, we should post some little something or other that we can put on the Facebook thing. I don't know what you're calling it.
That's right. That's right. We did say, hey, we were going to say, hey, welcome.
Right.
And bad news. We're not significant. What was it, relevant?
I think they used the word relevant.
Not a significant presence.
Oh, was it significant? Okay, significant. Fine. We weren't relevant. We were in. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was relevant. Either one is not good. You have no significance. We're cutting off your live stream. You've been wasting it. You've been squandering our bandwidth.
It for what? 4 years almost. Well, over 4 years, I think.
And there's Dean, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we got good. Awesome. Hi, Dean.
It's a full house.
I'm sure you saw this this week. I have nothing for notes, but it dawned on me when I saw this. I'm sure you saw this.
I don't know of any German comedians because German people, they're very literal people. Right. And they don't understand Americans because we're non-literal. A German would say, why would you call this man curly? He has no hair at all. Why would you call someone curly who has no hair? This doesn't make sense.
It's not funny.
And tiny is at least 350 pounds.
Yeah, that was that. Yep. But 95 or something?
94, 95, something like that. Good for him. And Bob and I, for those of you who don't know, have been fans. And I put him in the Bob and Ray camp.
Oh, sure.
Of that style, that dry, beautiful style of humor.
Yeah, Dean, they said that last week when we went to go live, and I go live on 3 places, but the one of those places was the Lounge Show page on Facebook, and it said that we're not allowed to live stream anymore to that page because we didn't have a significant presence. 4 years. 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
And we couldn't muster up a significant presence enough.
Whatever the definition of that is, I have no idea.
I guess it's more than 8 people.
It doesn't, but wah. Okay, wah, Facebook, Mr. Zuckerberg, wah.
Now, they're probably like, hey, look, just get a Zoom account and these people can pop in if they want to hear your private phone call.
We weren't hurting anybody. We weren't bothering anything.
We're here I guess I'm significant enough on my personal account.
Of course you are. It's me. It's all me. That's the problem.
Now, if that ever happens, this is really the only thing I ever live stream anymore.
How do you do the under the tree stuff when you do that?
When's the last time I did that? Seriously. I used to do it every day. It's been a year, 2 years. I don't know. Uh-oh. Oh,
okay. I saw that. I've caught up now.
You were glitched out a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, all right. Everyone return to your homes.
Calm down. There's nothing to see here. Obviously, Facebook told us so. So there's that.
That was like maybe you should stop talking about us, eh?
I have nothing else except that I've been eating cereal lately. Did we discuss this?
Okay, thank God. Now we got the next 22 minutes in the bag.
Yeah, right. And it'll take. I got nothing. But I have been enjoying eating cereal, sugary cereal, Captain Crunch, Apple Jacks.
Now, why are you doing that?
Because I just thought I haven't done it in forever. That was all. And just to remember why I enjoyed it. When you're a kid, you get up, this is breakfast. It was awesome. It's a bowl of sugar. It's just terrific.
And
then you drink the milk afterwards, which is
God, don't. No, I can't take these out, but please don't.
That's not your fun thing?
It's one of those things that I just... It's like instant gag reflex when I think about it.
Really?
Yes.
I had no. Okay, I didn't do it. I didn't say anything. Now I know. Okay, good to know. There's a lot of picadillos with Bob Doyle, boys and girls. For those of you who don't know, there are certain little triggers that we just don't go. We don't go down that road, Bob and I. And I'm glad I now know this, so we won't bring that up again.
So let's talk about Toss and Toss for a sec, okay? Because
it
has you would be thrilled, man. First of all, so everybody loves it, and I would not have imagined that Amber's friends would give a about.
Oh, Amber's friends are also.
Everybody's into it. I'm telling you, hours of play. Hours of
tossing.
play. And let me tell you something.
Okay.
Amber is good. She sinks points. She sinks 3-pointers more than anybody.
She's a natural.
And I've completely lost it. I mean, I'm telling you, we did one yesterday, and I scored. It was like
Dean wants to know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to run a commercial. We need to make a commercial for it, and then we can just run it. Tired of we talked about it. Tired of the same old pool games, and just like people. We had so many ideas, like people floating dead in the pool.
Lightning bolt, and they were in black and white versus color, and the big X. Right. Don't do that.
So basically, Dean, toss and toss is a game you play in a swimming pool. It's got an inflatable basketball hoop, basically.
Stop. I have to interrupt. Toss and toss was invented from, it was just a basketball hoop for little kids to shoot in the, it wasn't like Toss and Toss is an actual brand name that they get the box, and Bob and I named it Toss and Toss.
Right. No, correct. It's just, well, if you didn't even let me finish my first sentence and you were swooping in.
Okay, sorry.
With
I'll
the
stop
caveats, I communicate for a living. There's certain structure in what I do.
That's right. I apologize that I'm even still allowed to stay in
your
class.
But yes, it was just a kid's toy. It's a basketball hoop for the pool. So it's a little, not even inflated. It's just a little basketball thing. You toss it. Okay. So toss and toss is, Rob and I you take the hoop and you toss it Frisbee style across the pool, and within a couple of seconds you got to make the shot. Okay. And if it gets in the top ring, that's 2 points. If it lands in the bottom ring, which it mostly does, that's another point. So 2 points for the top, 1 point for the bottom. If you don't get the top and you just get the bottom, that's a point. We usually play to 11.
Yeah.
Okay?
And you have to win by 2.
I couldn't remember that, but I told them that. I said, I think we even did the play by. Actually, I mumbled that under my breath because they were not too happy about the 11 because they went out there. They had been playing for. I taught them, and then I came back and they were playing for an hour or whatever, and then I'm in there, and then they get to 10 and they think they won, and I'm like, no, you got to go to 11. 11. Yeah, and then under my breath, I'm like, I think you got to do it by 2 points too. Tennis points or tennis rules.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that is technically it. You should get by 2. But anyway, I suck at it, man. I am to the left or too far. Like I'm barely hitting the thing. It takes me a long time to warm up.
Well, and here's the thing, too. I will now add, may I jump in now, Professor Bob, the teacher of communication?
I suppose so. I missed Tracy's comment.
Well, there it is. I was going to bring up Latbat, that she then was on a mission to constantly, hopefully find toss and toss apparati for Bob to use at his new dwelling, at their new home.
Yes.
And she would get close, real close. God bless her. But it wasn't. And then divine intervention. And a couple of weeks ago, an original toss and toss base supposedly was found at a yard sale or an estate sale or something.
Yeah, I think, didn't we talk about this last week, though?
We could, but we could have. But Dean wasn't here, and I thought,
yeah.
Nothing else anyway,
it was
right?
Divine. It was this divine thing where she went to an estate sale, just because she likes an estate sale, and there it was. And the thing is, when you say that she had tried to find other things, there's these really cheap inflatable toys that you can get like at a dollar store or a Five Below or something, and it was that. It was like if it's too hot, it's gonna wilt. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. But this is it's got a wire rim sewn in, a cloth. It's the original one was that. It's high quality.
Yeah, it's like finding real jars.
It's exactly what we said last week, and so.
Excuse me.
So you can throw it really. It's got. Anyway,
it's got.
Yeah, so good. And then we've had to play the rules where if it the way we've been playing it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when it lands sideways, I say we play it as it lands, and you try and throw it in the top, or you throw it in the bottom. You can get all three. Same thing. It's just sideways.
Right. Could you launch an ICBM horizontally? Yes, but why would you want to? And that, I think we said that. We quoted The Hunt for Red October many times when we had to do the horizontal shot. This was done. Okay, and also, just a little frame of reference, the time toss and toss was invented, discovered. When it morphed into what it is now, that the kids are lining up at Bob's new home to play. Bob and I were both in an odd time in our life, and we also used a lot of alcohol. And so Toss and Toss was definitely bred to a degree from, he had this beautiful home with this beautiful pool, and we invented Toss and Toss under an alcoholic umbrella. And it was wonderful. And now it's got a whole new meaning and life and everything because you've revived it like a phoenix from the ashes.
The fact that anybody besides us cares about it is what got me.
You've got it's a club.
It's the next. It's Toss and Toss, the next generation.
Yes, it's like a remake of 90120 or 90210 or whatever that show was. I never watched it, as you can see. Although I saw that
I never did either.
She was 53, Shannon Doherty, and she passed away recently. And Bob Newhart was 94. So there you go, kids. Remember that.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Let that be a lesson to you. Do stand-up comedy.
Sure. That just asked Greg Giraldo and Rich Hedberg and
Kennison. He lived forever, didn't he? Yeah.
Why are we inviting hell upon us?
Okay. I don't know. But
so the other fun thing, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, go.
You said you had nothing. The other fun thing that I'm surprised of is, I think you were telling me that when Steven with Steven, you played some mini golf, yeah? In VR.
Right.
And I believe it's probably walkabout mini golf. It could be something else, but that's what we've been playing, and Amber's way into that too. So it's just fun that everybody and Tracy's into it. So we're all like enjoying the same games. But that pool game, man.
Well, you said her friends, Amber's friends. See, that's where you got me.
Yeah.
I get that Tracy and Amber play. Even if they don't like it, they're humoring Bob. Fine.
I would hope they would never do that. Yeah, no.
No, and I doubt they would. But the point is, it's a possibility. But when her friends are playing, now that's a sincere, they're digging it. They're liking it.
There's just a basic competitiveness to it.
Yeah.
And mixed with the goofiness of what the hell you're doing.
Right.
And but all the frustration, all the hand-eye frustration of pool and golf. It's like, to the left every time. You start by smiling, and by the end, it's Actually, I've reached the point in my life.
To me. What?
I just absolutely do not care about winning at all anymore. It's absolutely just like it doesn't. I've reached the point where it's like, because I know back then I'd be really, I don't know. We were probably playing for something. Right. I mean, we probably weren't playing.
You and I?
No.
I'm sure it was. If I could guess, I'm sure it was going to get the next round. I'm sure that's what we would gamble for. The next round of beers. You got to go. You got to get out of the pool and then walk into that air-conditioned home, which was cold because you came out of the pool.
Yeah, that's if you're drinking beers, ladies and gentlemen. In some cases, it was.
In the olden days when Toss and Toss was invented, Bob and I were both drinking.
Yeah, but I mean, as opposed to the Long Island teas that I would make out there by the pool in those gigantic cups. You never remember?
Yeah, that was for later. That was for later.
That was for later. No.
Drink a crap ton of beer first, then we'll get into the booze.
Right. We'll warm up.
Right. It's calisthenics. It's drinking calisthenics.
No, Dan, we didn't move. What Rob and I are talking about is ancient history, 20 years ago or something.
Oh gosh, yes.
And no, Tracy and I have been in this place since 2021 now.
Okay. Well, so did we started this lounge, this iteration of the lounge? You were in your previous home?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
2020 is when we started this thing until Facebook kicked us out.
Right. We had 4 years to get significant, and we couldn't do it.
And that being Bart and Toss, we are.
What is with your connection?
Completely relevant. Oh yeah, sorry. Do all the words come through at least?
Well,
or are they jarbled?
No, everything stops.
Yeah, and then does it play catch up?
It's hard to say because when they abduct me, I black out, and there's like a little bit of bruising. I don't know.
A little bit of bruising at first.
Yes. Just for us, ladies and gentlemen.
That's for us.
Like the rest of this half hour. If anybody gets anything out of this besides us, it's just pure coincidence.
I was thinking about that the other day. I swear I was thinking about Tracy again the other day about when you and I
Facebook
will
clearly
start
didn't.
speaking. When we were speaking, well, we'll go into speaking a language that kind of is ours, not because we do this on purpose. It's just shorthand, and other people in the room just smile graciously and watch us laugh.
Yeah,
Because-
Tracy's look is uniquely this kind of a smile and half dazed,
Yeah.
but just trying to, like, I'm sure they'll stop in a minute.
Right, and not in any begrudging way. A delightful confusion look. It's she's playing along. She's great, but like Morgan and Morgan, she was
Oh
not
my
raised
God.
in Atlanta, so therefore that bit just doesn't resonate as well. And you and I were in a laughy mood when we did that.
So wait,
and
was that one of those where she was looking at us crazy? She wasn't laughing along with Morgan and Morgan.
Well,
Morgan,
not
Morgan,
really
Morgan.
laughing. No, she wasn't laughing. I wouldn't say laughter was part of it, but graciously just nodding along, going, "Here's another round of I don't understand," but they seem to find it
Me
funny.
just thinking about that shit makes me laugh.
Tracy,
And I haven't
see?
even seen it. You just have told me about it.
Right.
And I
I should
laughed.
send you the link, but it's so funny. Gosh, it's funny. And I was telling Grant, who was the guy who first played that for me at the old building where I was working, his now wife, who's my kind of partner at work. I was telling her the other day, I go, Bob and I laughed at Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. And I said, we just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And she grinned. I go, you go home and tell Grant that now there's someone who lives in Vegas who totally digs the
You have a friend in Vegas.
book. Vegas. Yes. Yes.
Well, now I feel like we have to explain that.
Well, it's not. There's not much to explain. At least toss and toss is a fun game that the whole family
Toss
can
and
play.
toss
This
and
is
toss and toss and toss
toss and toss and toss and toss and toss and toss. Yes, there. That might work. And we lost Bob.
Oh my God! And it's only funny to us. That's what sucks about this one. There's just no way.
No, it doesn't translate. These are not the droids, man. That is another droid issue.
I can't believe I didn't put in toss and toss and toss.
Toss and 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 toss and. Yeah. There you go. I love when you do that laugh. It's just a good laugh when you get Bob going, boys and girls. It's a lot of fun. I kid you not.
Okay.
Okay. So did Steven contact you?
Yes,
by the
and
way?
that's the next thing on my invisible list is we were gonna be seeing him tomorrow.
Oh, really?
But his schedule changed, and now we're gonna see him Monday morning at 9 on his way to work. I was hoping he could come out, and maybe if he wanted to, he could hang at the pool. I was thinking how great
Sure.
to get toss and toss footage with Steven, right?
Right.
But it was not to be. Not to be.
That
But
was so funny, man. He calls me at work. Dad. Yeah. How close is Bob to the Strip? And I go, I don't know. We went there a couple of years ago. I think 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm just guessing. Is that about right? I'm
20
just
minutes.
asking you now. Yeah.
20 minutes.
I said, I don't think it's too wide. What's up? Well, they get $15 for for packages. And I said, what do you need? And he goes, well, it's Prime Day, and I'm thinking of buying a microwave oven. And I said, for what? And he goes, I brought all this ramen with me because he gets per diem money from the Air Force. And he brought all this ramen so that he can pocket the per diem money, which actually is pretty smart. So he's going to make a bunch of ramen using the nuke that he bought on Prime Day that's delivered to your house because it's $15 a package at the hotel. I've never been presented with this issue or problem before. I found it fascinating at the time. And I said, well, there's a good reason now I said, do you think he'd mind? I go, I don't know. I don't think I would mind. Somebody decides to have something delivered to my house. I'll throw it in the garage and they can pick it up,
Yeah, it
so
got
now
here
you-
yesterday or 2 days
Oh,
ago,
did it?
and it's
Is it a
sitting on our little
microwave?
bench. Yeah, and then a couple of other things too.
Okay, Stephen. So yes, he'll be here for a while though, so he can come back. Tracy says yes, and once he sees what you have to offer there at Kittyland, it's a theme park when you go to Bob and Tracy's. There's all kinds of things
I
to
wonder if
play
he
with.
brought his Quest.
I would doubt that.
He's here for a month.
That's a good point. I do not know. I think sometimes he consumes the show on reruns, on the replay, the lounge show. So maybe he'll see it sometime this week, although I don't think he's a regular, not a P1. So I don't know. But what?
But what?
Oh, so I mean, maybe then if he watches sometime this week, then he could let you know the answer to that question, is my point.
I'm going to see him tomorrow or the next day.
Then never mind. I feel like Emily Latella.
Never mind.
Never mind. By the way, I watched, I don't know how I stumbled on it on YouTube, but you know how you can go down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I came across George Harrison and Paul Simon doing Here Comes the Sun on Saturday Night Live in 1976.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
It was real fun. Couple of acoustic guitars. They didn't know George was going to be there to do it. Paul was the musical guest and host that night, and George just comes out of the wings, and they do Here Comes the Sun, and then something else. I forget one of Paul's tunes. But gosh, that was when Saturday Night Live was awfully neato. Those early years.
Yeah, and you just lived for Steve Martin being on there. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all I cared about is he hosting this? Because there was I was looking at there were years where he hosted multiple times in a season.
He did.
Yeah,
and I think that helped his career.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Gosh, man.
And I also liked when Carlin would be on. You can't go wrong with Carlin.
Yeah, but at that age, I wasn't thinking about Carlin. I was only thinking about Steve Martin. Yeah.
You know who now I'm really, anytime I see him is Chappelle, even though I know he's been around 100 years. Anytime I can see Chappelle stand up and talk into a microphone, I go nuts. I could watch Chappelle all day. In fact, I was watching him give, it was another YouTube thing I was doing, and it was the Mark Twain Award for Jon Stewart. He was being honored. And the people talking was out, Steve Carell, Colbert, all the ones who were on the Daily Show with him. And it was real. Carell stands up and just looks out at the audience and says, a humorist is a stand-up comedian who's been dead for 100 years. That's how he started. And I thought, I'm going to watch the rest of this presentation. So really smart, good, funny people paying homage to Jon Stewart. And one of them was Chappelle. And they are buddies, and they, known him for 100 years. Chappelle is sharp, I think. I think he's, the reason he popped in my head is I think he's kind of a modern-day Carlin. He really talks on a social level about where we're at and what we're doing and how we're screwing everything up.
Yeah, I lost the taste for comedy that's trying to make a point a while back. I just like... I used to just when I had satellite radio, I lived on Raw Dog Comedy and
I remember that now that you mentioned this. You would do a lot of stand up and listen to 8, 9, 10 minutes.
Oh, I knew everybody who was doing it. I mean, it was I was so into it. And like Lewis Black, right?
Right.
His angry sort of thing. Like I was so into it, and then one day I just wasn't. And like Ron White, I thought it was so funny, and then one day it just wasn't. And then I don't know. I still like stand up, but it's like I have nothing. I got no end to this sentence, Rob.
Well, I can help you out. I watched one that a young lady I had never heard of or seen. Her name was Hannah Brenner.
Okay.
It was a Netflix. It was about 55 minutes, and she was funny. She kicked the crap out of men, which I think is funny when women, and most of the crowd was women. Some of which had dates, and she would point them out and just rip the hell out of them. It's a lot. It was so I enjoyed that, but I don't seek it out like I did when I was younger. Stand up like
it used to be like I just would, seek it out. Like I couldn't get enough of it, and then there was too much of it. Like there were so many. I mean, I like what's going on out there, and if it shows up on my timeline or whatever, I can appreciate it. I just don't. I don't seek it out hardly ever. Nate Bargatze, I will go. And I'll go find a special of his or something, and every now and then, and Jim Gaffigan, but not every time. It's not like I'm not just like waiting for it,
Mm-hmm. Are we done? No, we got 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't push the button. I wasn't going to end on that. And with those words, and with those
well, we
words,
can do this again. We can do this because I didn't do mine. 76.
Right. Oh my
76.
God.
It just dropped. It was 98 forever, like 20 days. It was in the mid 90s or above. No rain. And the last 3 or 4 days it has rained here. It's humid as hell. And it's in the mid 70s, 80, 82, something like that in the day. So at least we've got it was so dry. It was awful.
I mean, you're like
And
30
you guys,
degrees
I watch
cooler
your
than us.
temperature. What's that?
You're like 30 degrees cooler than us.
Yeah, it's 76 right now, and I know you guys are just baking
I'm 110.
in the shade.
110 in the shade, and there is no
there
shade.
ain't
And there is no shade. And there isn't any shade.
And it's void of shadeness.
And with those words, I am the hell out of here. I had enough of this foolishness. Thanks for nothing. They never paid me.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.